today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Diamond Select Toys, the Mighty Thor, the Disney Store exclusive special collector's edition figure. Yes, while Spot normally says make sure you support your local comic book stores, in this case you would have to go to the Disney Store to get this Disney Store exclusive. This Thor comes with, of course, his trusty Mjolnir, a very interesting accessory Mjolnir as well. I'll show you that when we get this opened up. And also looks like it comes with a standard display stand. The package itself features some fantastic artwork of Thor on the side going on there. And we spin around the back. There's the accessory that I was talking about, the Mighty Thor. No read-up, surprisingly enough, nor does it also indicate any other figures available at the time you pick this up. But I can tell you can go also to www.diamondselecttoys.com and check out the other pieces that the folks over at Diamond Select are producing. That being said, Spot's going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select The Mighty Thor, the Disney Store exclusive. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. First thing we'll have a look at with the Disney Store exclusive Thor is the display stand. Kind of a departure from some of the stuff we've also seen from Marvel Select figures. Normally they have this kind of grand, elaborate display stand. In this case, Thor comes with a very basic black stand. At any rate, he does certainly make up for it when you factor in the other accessories that he comes included with, but I'm very surprised that they just gave him a basic black stand. Putting that aside, when we have a look at the figure. We'll have a look at the figure and then we'll look at, of course, the accessories as well. We'll do that. I really like this figure. It's got that kind of rough, kind of aggressive looking Thor design to it. It's not a classic costume by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of an amalgamation, kind of like a newer world Thor. It's definitely got a more realistic design to it than maybe some of the other Thors that we've seen. It's even slightly a departure as well from even like the movie Thor as well. The Mighty Thor here, I really like this costume that they've got him wearing. The tunic, if you want to call it that, the armored piece that he has, it's kind of a gray, kind of brown gray color, and then trimmed slightly with this gold color. The rivet points, the sections that hold his cape in place as well, the smaller points, are more of a almost like a gunmetal gray, which also carries over into the plating, the armor plating that he's got down in his leggings there as well. It's a nice Thor. I mean, I'm really impressed with this piece. I mean, nice sculpted cape too. It's not a straight cape. I almost think that for this type of Thor, I would have preferred maybe just a little more narrower of a cape, but it doesn't billow out too far out, which is a nice touch. I like that. The helmet on him looks decent. It almost even looks like it could be removed, but it's a sculpted in piece. Let's have a look at his face. It's basically like a I'm not taking crap kind of Thor face. Very serious in his demeanor, very serious in his facial expression. I like that. I really like it. Now you can remove it. You can take his head and just pop it off the socket right there. And it actually removes the back collar as well. That's all one piece. And you can replace it with just a standard Thor head. It's not bad, but I think between the two, I'd almost lean a little more towards the helmet. Somehow I think the helmet works better with this Thor face, because the face is essentially pretty much like the exact same face. But I think it works better with the helmet, to be honest, than without. I just feel like just take it off here for a second. I just kind of feel like it's got a good sculpt to it, but it just doesn't have that oomph, if you know what I mean. Versus if we look again at the helmeted version, I think the helmet just kind of fills in areas on his head that really, there's no hair there or anything like that. It's just forehead. There's this two heads going on there. Yeah, I mean, it's your preference, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, if you pick this guy up, I mean, you could go with either head, but I think I'm leaning a little more towards the helmeted head in this case. It's also such a nice treat because, you know, with the movie Thor, you don't see him very often with the helmet on, that to get a helmet on Thor, I think I just kind of prefer it a little bit more on this particular figure. Okay, so let's talk about some of the accessories that come included with this gorgeous piece. For starters, he has an interchangeable hand. The hand itself, I can just hold it up here, The hand itself is a partially closed fist, as you can see. As it stands currently, it is suitable, and you can kind of bend the hand out a little bit to get because Mjolnir, let me just show you Mjolnir. One of the larger handles I've seen on his hammer. It's huge, but we're gonna take it, and you have to kind of pry it into his hand to give him the mighty Mjolnir. And that in itself is a fantastic look, just to have him holding Mjolnir. I mean, clearly, if he was to walk out in battle, hold up his mighty hammer, and basically just stand like this, I would surrender. I would just say, oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. You know, you didn't even say anything, but you're right. We surrender. But what you can also do, too, is take Mjolnir out, take his hand, and wiggle it off, pop it out of the socket, and you swap it in for something that looks like this. And it's basically the same hand, although this hand is completely closed shut. The only thing that's opened is almost like a dowel hole opening at the top there. Now this hand won't hold his existing hammer. There's no way, you know, this section doesn't come loose. This is all just a rubber piece, so it won't hold this hammer. However, it does hold this. Very clever design idea where it is essentially, no, it's not a wheel of Mjolnir's. That alone would be kind of cool, but it's simulating as if the hammer Mjolnir was being spun. Thor was actually spinning his hammer, and that you can just take. It's just a peg point. You have to kind of tip his hand up to kind of clear his head, because it's a big enough piece that, you know what, we can do it like this. Just wiggle it into his hand, creaking and squeaking later, and you've got something that looks like that. Now I ask you, have you ever seen something look so cool, at least on a figure? Because I mean, some people would say, oh, well, I've seen lots of things that are cool. Have you ever seen such a cool looking display piece for a figure? For that matter, such a cool piece for a Thor figure. This figure is awesome with this extra piece. And again, you can get him on it. I mean, he stands well enough on his own that if you kind of balance his legs, he's not too heavy. Although, if you feel more confident and more comfortable, you can put him on his display stand and you can display him like that. I don't really know how I would necessarily display him. I love just the straight out hammer, but I almost feel like inclined they're going to give us something this awesome. I feel like I have to display him with the spinning hammer. And there's what it looks like on the side, back there. Awesome, awesome display piece. Let's just take that, wiggle it off of his hand. We'll just put that to the side. In the way of Thor's articulation, he still has quite a bit. Ball joint in the head, not hindered at all either by this back collar. Collar, as you can see, is very rubbery, so it doesn't limit movement. Even when you move the head, you can see how the collar stays out of the way. I like that. It stays out of the way. Shoulders are on a ball hinge. They hinge out, forward and back. Of course, they're going to roughly stop at about there because his cape will kind of get in the way. He has a swivel point in the bicep, a hinge elbow, swivel and hinge in the hands. He's got an upper torso crunch, more like, I guess, a ball joint pivot point. And then he's got the hinged legs. He has a double bend knee, and he has a hinged foot. I kind of feel like this could be my favorite Thor of all time. That's a big, bold statement to make, but Diamond Select's knocking this out of the park. They are nailing these figures, and again, it seems lately, they just can't seem to do wrong when it comes to figures. I've been super impressed with Carnage, you know, the Hulk that we just had a look at, the Incredible Hulk, even some of the older figures, but this by far could be my favorite Thor. Especially when you incorporate the spinning Mjolnir, is when you have a figure that is screaming awesome. If you get a chance, and I would normally say check out your local comic book stores, but in this case I would say you don't necessarily have to support the Disney stores. Disney stores seem to be doing A-okay, but if you definitely want to pick this guy up, head over to a Disney store if you have one available, and pick this guy up if you can. You definitely won't be disappointed. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Disney Store exclusive, the Diamond Select Toys, Marvel Select, the Mighty Thor. And he lives up to his name. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more toy spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.